Are men and women equal?
Actually, women are better than men. What do men bring to the world? Literally nothing. Women, the vibes, just everything.
Everything you know and love. If you look around the entire infrastructure of our nation, our economy, every building you walk into, the way that you are portraying your ideas and opinions is through technology and infrastructure and an economy and a nation that was not only built, but it's still maintained to this day by men.
Did men allow you to have that haircut?
You taking personal attacks makes me seem like the more intelligent.
Okay, I understand.
Validate your point, not some personal attack because you're losing the argument. Feminism stops whenever it's inconvenient for y'all. By definition, you are delusional if you cannot defend your ideas.
You should go.
I actually don't go to.
When the argument starts slipping, the conversation predictably turns personal. No surprise there. That's usually the clearest signal that logic ran out before confidence did. I stay focused on facts, not feelings. There's no need to engage once the mask drops.
Nothing else to talk about. She belongs to the streets. Don't ruin your mental health. Book a session if she's doing this.
Let's be honest. Trust is lost in these modern women nowadays. Even the ring does not guarantee any level of loyalty anymore. Growing up, watching my brothers get played by these run-through women has been brutal, but eye-opening. A man will invest time and energy. Meanwhile, she's on the other side, letting another man reap the benefits, and she's proud. For the most part, these loose moral women will come up with these "I need to go find myself" excuses to justify their behaviors. They play mind games and are constantly trying to
Men today aren't confused, they're observing. What's being sold as self-discovery often comes wrapped in disloyalty, avoidance, and quiet manipulation. Accountability has faded, and consistency has become a liability instead of a virtue. Choosing peace isn't selfish. It's strategic. Detachment is clarity. Boundaries are no longer suggestions. They're the filter that keeps chaos out and purpose intact.
I think I'm definitely an 8.
And I give myself a 5. I think I'm normal looking. And I just think it's based on my results. I think if I was an 8, 9, or 10, I would have had modeling contracts. Because people in the top 20% of beauty, they get modeling contracts.
But what is beauty?
You can go online and have people rate your pictures and they rank you 1 to 10. Men will rate you, women will rate you like every day. Don't you think attractiveness is based on results?
Maybe, but I don't care about those results.
Standards don't need to shout, and reality doesn't negotiate. An 8 doesn't belong anywhere near a negative scale to begin with. The so-called fat acceptance movement is the only movement that refuses progress, both physically and mentally. Comfort has been marketed as virtue, but accountability was quietly removed from the conversation. You can normalize anything with enough repetition, but biology, attraction, and effort don't bend to feelings. Results still matter, whether people approve or not.
Say something about females. They have this facade of they have to try very hard to come across as nice. They're so evil. For most people, they're quite moderate. You can act extra nice or act mean, right? But when you're genuinely evil, you're evil all the time in private. So when you go in public, you have to try very hard to put on the nice act.
It becomes obvious over time who moves with intention and who moves with integrity. Some women operate through subtle manipulation, pleasant in public, calculated in private. Charm becomes a tool, kindness a tactic, image a form of leverage. The objective isn't connection, it's control and perception. Most men don't recognize the pattern until the outcome is already decided. That's why awareness matters more than reaction. When you see clearly, the game loses its power, and you remain untouched.
The feminist movement was fighting for equal opportunity for women in education and the workforce. The sexual revolution was fighting for all sorts of sexual freedoms. Cosmo, we pretended that this sexual revolution was a freedom for women. It actually was not. It was actually kind of a slavery. But we pretended it was freedom for women. And over time, as the sexual revolution and the women's movement got identified closer and closer together, a lot of women began to buy into that illusion.
What gets overlooked is how empowerment was packaged as freedom while quietly serving institutional interests. Long before it became obvious, men pointed out the incentive structure and were dismissed as bitter or backward. Time passed, outcomes spoke, and now the pattern is harder to ignore. This wasn't liberation, it was a strategic expansion of the labor and tax base. No outrage needed, no resentment required, just observation. Systems don't care about feelings, only efficiency.
Women's rights, but we can't define what a woman is. But also men can be women. And no uterus, no opinion, but also men can get pregnant. Men are oppressing us, but also it's okay if biological men take over our spaces and our sports. Women are so over-sexualized in this culture, but it's empowering if women are the ones sexualizing themselves. Are you guys quite done yet? Like, are you okay?
That just about sums it up.
This is my friend Brianna Robinson. You should absolutely go follow her. She's fabulous. It's incredibly hypocritical, as everything is. Modern day feminism is not consistent in the slightest. Somebody commented and said, high empathy and low IQ generally correlate with feelings over facts. I mean, that's the basis of modern day feminism.
She said what needed to be said, without theatrics or emotion. That simple question, are you okay, carried the weight of everything that mattered and nothing more. No chasing, no over-explaining, no performance. Just presence, clarity, and restraint. Sometimes the most powerful response isn't more words. It's knowing when enough has already been said.
Now this one is for my ladies. Let's get into it. After I graduated with my master's, this woman that I used to work with, you know who you are, she pulled me aside. She said, Sam, you're a pretty girl. When you gonna settle down and get married? I laughed and I said, probably after I get my LCSW. She looked at me dead in my eye and said, shut the door. And so I did. She said, now look around, Sam. Look at the women my age. Look at the women who prioritize their career over family. And now they're lonely. All they have is their career, searching for meaning in vacations and brunches. And I saw it with my own eyes. It wasn't what I wanted for myself. She said what matters to her most now is her husband, her kids, and her grandbabies. That was her legacy. Y'all, and that changed everything for me. So I say all that to say this. Ladies, stop buying the lies of culture. Family is ministry. It's your first ministry. We weren't created to fight being helpmates. That's our divine purpose. We were created to walk in it with power. Don't lose yourself trying to chase a version of success that leaves you empty. God's way still works.
Few are willing to admit this out loud. While most stay distracted by noise and validation, time keeps moving without negotiation. Careers slow down, the party lights shut off, and the attention eventually dries up. What's left is silence, and silence is honest. Peace doesn't arrive from being noticed. It comes from alignment, purpose, and self-respect.
She gets up and she says, Patrick, this is very hard for me to say this. And let me tell you why it's very hard. I said, what's that? She says, ever since in high school, I wanted to prove to men that I can beat them. So when I graduated high school and college, I opened up my salon. We do very well. I've made millions of dollars. My people and my work that work at the salon, they do very well for themselves. I drive a nice car. I have a nice house. I have money. I have millions. I don't worry about any of that stuff. You know what decision I made last night? I said, what's that? She says, I want a husband. I no longer want to compete with men. I need them. And I'm like, what? She's saying this in front of 2,000 people with her sister sitting right next to her. Wow. And now she's getting emotional. How many 65-year-old women do we have to hear saying that I marched with the feminist movement and I bought into the fact that men are the enemy? I've never been married. I'm alone and I'm miserable and I wish I would have never bought into that philosophy.
Man, he never misses.
Stifler, ask everyone to rate their looks on a scale of 1 to 10.
10.
10.
10.
10.
Like a 6.
I was gonna say like a 7, maybe 8.
I give myself like 6, 6.9 on a good day. Okay, so but 10? 10, really? It's a bit of hubris, a little bit, don't you think? I mean, 10.
It's confident, not confident.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you view yourself as a 10, then surely you must deserve a 10. So if you have a bunch of women who think they're 10, one of the problems in the dating marketplace is people don't have a reasonable self-assessment of their own attractiveness, and thus their standards are, they're not going to be able to secure the type of partner that they're going after if they think they're a 10. No offense, guys.
I disagree.
I'm getting death stares.
Subscribe for more content like this.
What started as empowerment quietly drifted into entitlement. Confidence was replaced with unchecked ego, and reality was postponed instead of faced. The market doesn't negotiate with feelings, and time doesn't reward denial. They don't miss your presence when you leave. They notice your absence when you stop investing. By the time awareness arrives, the options have narrowed, the noise is gone, and solitude feels louder than expected. If the message hit, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.